If you want to make 2026 your year to lock in and actually get rich off reselling, then this video is for you. Now, in this video, I'm going to be giving you an exact step-by-step breakdown of not only how I scaled my own reselling business from $0 to $20,000 a month at only 17 years old, but how you can literally copy my exact strategy that me and my students are using to do the exact same thing for yourself. This video is literally going to be a step-by-step guide on how you are going to get rich off reselling in 2026, right? For example, you can be like my boy Jaden right here, who's literally making over $1,000 every 2 or 3 days just off his reselling business at only 14 years old. You can be like this guy, posting fucking money spreads every single day, selling over $1,400 in product in less than a week. Even people like Gunner, who are literally selling their first pair of AirPods, just making their first little bit of money. People like this guy, stacking up off AirPods, all this different type of shit. This guy stacking up off LV wallets, AirPod Maxes. People like this other Jaden dude. All these people, bro, are making money off of reselling right now in real time because they decided to lock the fuck in. Now look, 2026 is here, right? 2026 is here. It is now 2026. And you have the same choice to make as you did last year. Are you going to sit around? Are you going to watch everybody else become successful, make a shitload of money, and live your dreams? Or are you finally going to use this year to make your dreams a reality? You see, 1 year ago on January 6, 2025, I decided that I was done watching other people live my dreams while I was sitting on the sidelines. I was done wasting another year while everybody else was working, and I realized that every single day I put off was another day that I got further and further away from my dreams. Now, exactly 11 months later, on December 6th, 2025, I moved into my dream penthouse at only 17 years old, now make over $20,000 per month, all because I decided that I did not want to waste another year in my life when I knew I could achieve so much and I was capable of anything that I put my mind to. Now, 2025 was my lock-in year, and now 2026 can be yours if you choose it to be. So if you're not willing to actually put in the work and take action right now, today, to hit $10,000 a month with reselling before the middle of 2026, click off this video. It's not for you. This video is not for people who are not action takers. But if you're sick of staying in the same small town for the rest of your life, you're sick of scrolling on IG Reels, watching people your age drive fast cars, go on their dream vacations, and live your dream life, and you're actually ready to do something about it, then this video is for you. Now, in order for us to build a $10,000 a month reselling business, there's really 4 core pillars we need to focus on. Pillar number 1, product research. Pillar number 2, testing. Pillar number 3, investing. And pillar number 4 is scaling. Now, each one of these 4 core pillars play a crucial role in your reselling journey. And without having one dialed in, none of them will work. They work together. And if one thing is out of whack or out of sort, none of them are going to work, right? So the first pillar to actually scaling your reselling business to over $10,000 a month is product research. And this is probably by far the most important thing because this is literally the foundation of your business. Now, a lot of you guys, when you try and find winning products, you go on places like TikTok and you go look on Instagram Reels to see what all your favorite big resellers are telling you to sell, when that is literally the worst thing that you could ever possibly do. You don't want to be taking advice from other people on what products to sell because quite frankly, it's going to be different for everybody. And you don't just want to go off of what people are saying. You want to go off, number 1, what people are doing, and number 2, what's actually going to work for you. So step 1, if you want to do proper product research, you need to actually study your area, right? You need to look at things like common interests of people in your area, the climate or the weather, and the culture, right? You need to look at these 3 things and then actually be able to brainstorm winning products off these categories, right? So what products actually fit these 3 categories, right? So for example, let's just do a little bit of a thought exercise right now. So I'm in AZ, right? Let's do a little bit of a thought exercise. So common interest. Honestly, I don't know too much about the area yet, so I don't really know too much about common interest. People like to go club, especially like where I am. People like to go club. There's ASU, you know what I'm saying? The climate and the weather, right? It's warm. Oh God, let me see if I can spell this out. It's warm. And the culture, like I said, bro, like there's a lot of like YNs here. I'm not gonna lie, hella YNs, bro. Hella like Mexicans. It's very diverse, actually, very diverse. And you're probably wondering, Braden, why are you saying that? Well, it's important because certain people like different things. Like Mexicans love like red bottoms, they like Louis Vuitton, they like certain colognes. YNs, obviously, we know what they like, but etc. Right? So with all of these things, right, the common interests, the climate, and the culture, how can we actually find products that would maybe do well in this area? Well, it's warm in AZ, and there's also a lot of rich people. I'll add this one as well. There's a lot of rich old people, a lot of rich old white people, right? So what do rich old like people or white people like to do in the warm weather? Well, they like to golf, right? YNs, obviously we kind of already know what they like, spider, etc. So I'm not going to write that shit, spider, denim tears, all that shit. Going in the club, right? People are going to want shoes and clothes. There's a huge club scene here, so of course people are going to want shoes and clothes, right? Basically, just using all these things to kind of start brainstorming, right? Start to gather ideas, right? We're able to kind of dissect what products would do well based off of different variables in the area, right? So, like I said before, the goal of product research is to find products that work for you and you can sell over and over and over again for guaranteed profit. And if you don't actually understand your area and don't know what people want and what people like to do, you're never going to make it anywhere, right? Now, after you brainstorm these ideas, this is not just the end of it. You don't just get to brainstorm ideas and then to be like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and sell these now. No, that's not how it's going to work. Because in order to actually find winning products, yes, you have to brainstorm. You have to have a foundation of kind of what you're going to go off of, but then you actually have to validate the ideas, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to go on eBay and you're going to type in a product that you're brainstorming. So for example, let's say designer shoes. Let's say we want to sell like red bottoms, right? Say we want to sell red bottoms. So we're going to go on eBay. We're going to type in red bottoms and we're going to look at recently sold items and we're going to look at a couple things, right? We're going to look at the frequency of which these are being sold. We're going to be looking at the price at which of these are being sold. And then we're going to actually look at the product itself and what that product is, right? So first we're going to do a little bit of a broad search. You can type in, oh, designer shoes or even red bottoms, right? And you can see if these are products that are selling every single day, that are selling for a decently high price, they're, selling frequently, then you're going to want to actually go ahead and sell that, right? But if you're doing something a little bit more broad, like for example, you're typing in like designer clothes or golf clubs or colognes, what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to scroll the page of recently sold, identify trends in each niche. So what products are selling the most, products that are selling more than others frequently. And then obviously once you find those winners, you're going to niche down to validate that, right? Now, once you kind of have looked on eBay, you see what products are selling. You have to actually answer the question, does it make sense for you to sell this product, right? Now, obviously, you're probably thinking, Braden, well, if it's a good product and I can, make a lot of money, like, of course it would make sense for me to sell. Not necessarily, all right? There's a couple things that you need to factor in. Now, number one, the product that you are selling, you need to have at least a 3x profit, right? So if these are products that are moving fast, but they're moving fast for a low price, like for example, if they're moving for, let's say, $60 and you get them for 40 to 50 bucks from your supplier, there's no point in even selling them, right? Because the market is fucked, the market is tanked. And that basically just means that yes, there's a demand for them, but people aren't willing to pay that amount of money. And if other people are selling it for, $50 and you go into the market for $100, you're not going to make any money, right? So you have to be able to make profit. You also have to make sure that it's in demand in your area, right? Obviously, how do you say that? By how frequently it's being sold, right? And then also you need to make sure you have a supplier who can provide you this with fast shipping, and I'll explain to you why in a little bit later. And at a high quality. Now, obviously, you guys can go ahead and find suppliers on places like Alibaba, and Reddit and all this bullshit. But if you just want to use my suppliers that I use that literally have the best rates in the entire world, that are all USA based with 2 to 5 day shipping, then you can go ahead and go to bk.supply.shop and use my personal vendors. You don't have to, but these are the vendors that I personally used throughout my entire reselling journey, that I've spent thousands of dollars researching, hundreds of hours researching different suppliers. I literally found all of these pretty much from scratch. So if you want to use these suppliers, then you can. If not, just make sure you have a valid vendor. But I believe in these suppliers. These are what I personally use. So I want to give you guys the best that I possibly can. But anyways, I digress. So once you actually have your products, right, you kind of understand, okay, these are the products that I think I want to sell. These are, they're profitable, they're in demand, and I'm able to source them as well. Once you have those things figured out, you're now going to move on to the testing phase, right? Now, the testing phase is basically where you take your winning products and you make sure that these are actually going to sell without you necessarily needing to sell them. So what you're going to do is you're going to take all of your winning products and you're going to go on apps like Facebook, OfferUp, and eBay. You're going to really just focus on these three main ones. And you're going to pre-list this product on apps without actually having the product in hand. So for example, you can go to eBay and literally just copy a listing, right? Copy their pictures, copy their description, and then basically just repost it. And then also go on OfferUp and Facebook and pre-list them, right? And what you're doing by pre-listing these products is testing their demand to actually see if it's worth selling, right? So what you're going to want to do is obviously pre-list a bunch of products, like pre-list a bunch of products that you find winners. Like literally go on a Google Doc and write down like 20 winners that you think are are going to be profitable that you've researched in the first step, right? You're going to pre-list every single one of these products, and then you're kind of going to see, which products are getting you more messages, getting you more engagement, and you can also make sales on this as well. You can set up meetups, you can set up sales, and the reason why you can set up sales without having the product in hand is because we have a supplier with fast shipping, right? So as soon as you have interest, as soon as you have not even necessarily sales lined up, but as soon as people want the product and you are getting genuine interest in it, you're going to order that product after you have sales lined up, and then you can either ship it from directly from the supplier to your customer, which is basically drop shipping. I wouldn't recommend that, but you can. Or you can get the product and then reship it. Or you can just meet up with your customer and collect the money, right? Well, you're probably wondering, oh, Braden, what if they want to meet today? And yada, yada, yada. Bro, just tell them that you're on vacation or something like that. Wait 2 to 3 days for the supplier to get you your product. And then you can go ahead and meet up with them and then collect the cash, right? So now that you've pre-listed your products, you kind of understand what products are working well, what aren't. Maybe you've made a couple sales. You're now going to go ahead and record your sales, right? You're going to record every single aspect of your reselling journey. And this is going to be very, very important later on because I'm going to show you why. But you're going to record every single thing. You're going to record you doing meetups. You're going to record you shipping orders. You're going to record you unboxing your orders. You're going to do every single thing and post them on TikTok and IG, right? And this is because social media is the new wave of reselling. This is the easiest and the fastest way to start. It's how I make my money reselling. It's how all your favorite resellers make their money. But you still have to post on marketplace apps to, number one, get content when you first start out because you can use it for content, but also gain experience so that in the content you do make, you can actually help people. And that's exactly what I did. I started reselling, genuinely actually reselling, and I made 5K my first month. I made like 8K my next month. Like I actually made money with the real reselling business model. And then after that, I transitioned into content because I knew it was more leverageable, and I basically scaled up from there, right? So now that you've tested your product, you know what works, what doesn't, what products you actually want to sell, you've gathered some content, you've probably even made a couple sales as well, you now need to move into the investing phase. Now, the investing phase, basically what this is taking all of your current knowledge and doubling down on what works and getting rid of everything that doesn't. So all your winning products that you are seeing success with, that you maybe are getting sales or at least getting interest in, what you're going to do is you're going to double down on the winning products that you are getting the most interest in. So pick 3 to 5 products, maybe less than that if you're not getting a lot of interest in products, but you know that you have 2 or 3 good winners. But I would say at least 3 products and order 3 to 8 units of that product. So now you can actually make sales every single day, multiple every single day possibly, because you have that product actually on hand. But you already know that it's going to sell because we use this pre-listing method up here, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to place your first bulk order, get 3 to 5 products, and get 3 to 8 units per each product. And while you're doing this and you're actually ordering your bulk and it's starting to come in, you're going to continue to research more products. You never want to stop innovating. You never want to stop researching and continuing to pre-list more potential winners so you can continue to expand your inventory. Now, you've probably been working with the supplier for a while, so you know what they have, you know what their shipping times are, you know their capabilities. So that way you can actually go ahead and kind of base your listing schedule or base your research schedule off of that, knowing that you can get these products fast. You'll be able to pre-list a lot more products, right? So once you do that, obviously you place your first bulk order, and since all these products that you're ordering are pretty much guaranteed winners that you've already sold before, you already had interest in, you're going to sell it pretty fast, and then you're just going to reinvest once again into your winners and then actually get experimental products on hand. Now, instead of this time of you having to pre-list products and then maybe only ordering 1 product per each, if you are getting interest in products now that you have a little bit more capital, order multiple of these experimental products and order them in bulk as well, right? Every time you order a bulk, you need to make sure that you're investing more money than you are last time, because in reselling, you need to spend money if you want to make money, and the more inventory you have, the more potential you actually have to scale. When I first started reselling, my first order was like $160, and then I turned that into, I think, about like 500, right? I remember this very, 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 very clearly. I scaled 160 to 500. I did not just order another 160 order. I took all that $500 and I invested into another order. I turned it into 15, right? I took literally all this money again, and then I turned this 15 into like 5K, and now I have 5K, right? As opposed to if I were to just keep like investing the same $160, I would keep making only $500 every order, and I would just keep going in this cycle, and it wouldn't get me anywhere, right? It'd make me a little bit of money, but nothing that's actually worth your time, right? So where we're at right now, we have products, we're placing bulk orders, we're getting fast sales off of products that are literally proven to work for us, specifically tailored to us in our niche. Now, what do we need to do? We need to actually scale our business so we can get to that 5 to 10K a month mark. And there are 2 main things that really play into scaling, right? It's your stock and your inventory, and it is the traffic or the amount of eyeballs on your page. Both of these numbers, they need to grow and they need to increase if you want to scale, right? Your stock and your inventory need to go like this if you want to scale, because that's how you're actually going to grow your income, right? Now, how do you scale your stock and inventory? Well, I just went over that, right? You double down by reinvesting into your winners. You give as more products as you can. You get as many products as you can, and you actually continue to reinvest into your business. How do you scale your traffic, right? How do you scale the amount of eyeballs you're getting on your listings so that way you can make even faster sales and make even more money? Well, there's a couple things that you can do. Number one is boosting your listings. These are basically ads. You can do this on eBay, OfferUp, Facebook, every single platform, and they work every single time. Like you only spend $2 or $3 on these ads and they fucking print you, right? Another one is social media content. Now you can actually start selling on social media because you probably have videos up. You probably have meetup videos, unboxing videos, whatever it might be on your channel because you were recording all those past sales. And now you can actually start selling through social media, right? And with that, you can get bulk buyers. And once you unlock bulk buyers and take the bulk buyer pill, you are going to literally get fucking rich off reselling, and you're going to realize, quite frankly, just how easy this shit is, right? Now, why bulk buyers are so important is because instead of making single sales on marketplace apps, which you're probably making once you get to this point, you're probably making a decent amount of money off of. The reason why bulk buyers are so important is because instead of making 5 $100 sales on an app every single day, you can make one sale for $500 to one person and then have that person come back to you every week or every month or every couple weeks and continue to make you pretty much guaranteed income, right? And that is the power of bulk buyers. Instead of taking 5 sales to make $500, you can now do it in one sale and then continue to repeat that process over and over and over again. But you're never going to be able to do that unless you're making social media content, right? If you're making social media content, people are naturally just going to reach out to you and they're going to want to buy off of you. If you're making half decent content and you're being consistent, and it's going to be the easiest sales you ever made in your life. But I hope you guys understand that with me saying this, it is literally, it is literally a repeating cycle of success, right? You just have to get the ball rolling. The more stock you have, the more sales you're going to make on marketplace apps specifically. The more sales that you make, the more content you can record, and also the more stock you have, the more content you can record as well. But that's kind of irrelevant to this nice little circle I built out here. The more sales you make, the more content you have. The more content you make, the more sales you have. The more sales you make, the more you can reinvest in your business to get more stock, to make more sales, to make more content, to make more sales, to make more. You see how this is going? It is literally an endless cycle of success. All you need to do is start. All you need to do for this to work is start. All you need to do is get your first product, your first order. And after that, it is literally up from there, bro. And if you do all 4 of these things for the next 90 days, I guarantee you, there is no possible way that you do not make your first $5,000 a month. And in 6 months of locking in on this, you can easily make 10K a month with this exact 4-pillar system. Now, like I said before, this only works if you do. If you have to make the decision for this year to be different, you have to choose wealth. You have to choose freedom. You have to choose your dream life. And then everything you ever wanted will finally come to you because you're actually taking the actions of that person who deserves those things. So if you're ready to actually lock in this year and make thousands of dollars every single month with the easiest business model in the world, just go ahead and go on my Instagram at bk.supply and message me the word 2026, and I'll give you an exact walkthrough of this exact system and how you can actually leverage it to make your first 5K month with reselling and then scale to over $10, $15, $20,000 a month, just like I did at only 17 years old, bought my dream penthouse, all this, cool material stuff. But in reality, this system works. I just showed you that it is literally the easiest system in the world. It is literally all just based off of this cycle of getting stock, making sales, making content, and then making even more sales. Once you get the ball rolling and literally start your first product, your first order, everything is up from there. 99% of resellers don't make money because they never actually genuinely start the right way, and that is why they're still poor. If you follow the system, if you message me the word 2026 and you are genuinely dedicated and you genuinely want to scale your reselling business with every ounce of your being and you want that dream life, you want those dream cars, you want to be able to provide for your family and all this other shit that I wanted to do when I first started, now I'm able to do at only 17, this is exactly how you're going to get there. Now, with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope you guys really learned something. I hope this was valuable for you. And I hope that you genuinely take action on this because, like I said, I believe in this system. I believe in this model, and it worked for me, so I know it can work for you. But if you guys want to see more content like this, drop a like, drop a sub. Like I said, take action on this because it will literally change your life. And BK Supply out.